Welcome to another episode of Follow the Brand TV. I am your host, Grant McGaugh, CEO of Five Star BDM, a five-star personal brand and business development company. I want to take you on a journey through another deep dive into the world of personal branding and business development using compelling personal stories, business conversations, and tips to improve your brand. By listening to the Follow the Brand TV series, you will differentiate yourself from the competition and build trust with prospective clients and employers. You never get a second chance to make a first impression. Make it one that will set you apart, build confidence, and reflect who you are. Building your five-star personal brand is a great way to improve your skills and knowledge. If you have any questions for me or any of my guests, please email me at grant.mcgaugh@fivestarbdm.com. Now, let's begin with our next episode on the Follow the Brand TV.
Five Star BDM, Brand Development Masters, is a professional consulting and advisory group keenly focused on business development services for the small to mid-sized business and entrepreneurs. Although every business is unique, they often share business development challenges that can be addressed through smart branding. Services include process improvement and operations, digital strategy and transformation, business intelligence, digital marketing, and personal branding. Our business and personal branding company has helped a number of professionals and organizations to optimize and grow. This results in more business, more opportunities, better reach, positive outcomes. Visit www.fivestarbdm.com today to learn more.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Black Business Network. My name is Grant McGaugh, CEO of Five Star BDM and host of the award-winning Follow Brand podcast and TV series, and I am your business moderator for this session on the Black Business Network. The Black Business Network is a 24-hour business network showcasing Black businesses, business owners, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders worldwide. And we have speakers from North Carolina, London, Singapore, Africa, Japan, and cities all over the United States. The Black Business Network is a global community sharing its business knowledge to empower, inspire, and educate businesses about business. And I will be your business guest right now on the Black Business Network. I want to talk to you more about what Five Star BDM is all about. That's Brand Development Masters. And many of you, and I thank you all for tuning in to my show, tuning in to my podcast, and tuning in to my guest appearances on the Black Business Network, where I am blessed to always be able to bring to you for 4 hours, 8 a.m. to noon on Friday, that's Eastern time on Fridays, and also Saturday, where I will bring on my particular guest to talk about their business in the Black community and how they are making substantial change. And some of you is like, well, I'm not familiar with Five Star BDM, who, first of all, just got new offices in Omaha, Nebraska. That's right, they're smack dab in the middle of the United States is where we have now relocated our home office. Still have offices in Miami, Florida that I operated for about 28 years, and also in St. Croix, the Virgin Islands. And all of this is done strategically and tactfully to bring together an ecosystem of Black businesses throughout the United States, as well as the archipelago and the Caribbean islands and into the African nations, and then worldwide, as we'll talk about a little bit later. So when we talk about Five Star BDM, what is that all about? I first want to start with what we call my origin story, right? How did this begin? Now, I've got 25 years of experience in information technology, and I've worked for some very, very large Fortune 500 companies during that time, like Avaya and Cisco and Lumen, which at the time was called CenturyLink. This is where I learned very high-tech enterprise technology for systems throughout the world. Then I got into healthcare about 10 years ago as a vertical to help the healthcare industry with new technology innovations. And I learned a lot about infrastructure from the ground up. So people hear about cloud computing up here, but actually it's very terrestrial. It really starts at the ground level when we're talking about cloud computing and what it's all about. You've got to have data centers, and those data centers need to be linked. They need to operate at maximum capacity to be able to distribute networks just like this in real time. So back about, I'm going to say the year was 2019, as I'm going through an opportunity for myself, working for another large company called Zones and presenting them an entire slew of services. I had about 200 different products and services that I was familiar with and I could bring to the table for hospital systems, integrated delivery systems, they call IDNs, or you have healthcare clinics and the like, medical systems, things of that nature, to begin to help them on their technology journey. But our company went through a downturn in about 2019. And during that time, even before that, I was branding myself. I mean, I was putting myself out there, specifically on social media, on LinkedIn, to tell my story so people will become more familiar with me. And then when I would then interact or I would send them an email or give them a phone call, they kind of knew who I was. Well, people like that. They like to say, hey, Grant, you really built a brand for yourself, and we know who you are when you knock on our door. This was good. But I didn't really realize the value of that until 2019. And the reason was that's when I went through a layoff and in October of 2019 because of downturn in business. They got rid of the entire division. So my healthcare division that I had worked for, healthcare and technology, was now gone, right? And I had to really do some introspection about who I was and what I was going to do moving forward. Now, in the past, I've been doing this for, like I said, 28, 25 years, a long time. Never gone through any long periods of layoff. Usually the phone was ringing, people were recruiting me, they wanted me to work for them and that kind of thing. Well, that was slowing down. Now, this is right before COVID. And I said, I'm getting kind of older in my life. I need to start thinking about my future. And I can't be starting all over again or be dependent on another company's P&L, their books and their revenues and what they're doing. I can start thinking, how am I going to take the skills and the tools and what I've learned over time and make them into a business? And I really was thinking about this. And I went to a conference for this was the National Association of Health Services Executives, strictly for Black healthcare executives throughout the nation. And I had been a part of this association for a number of years. And people started coming to me and say, hey, I understand you're a free agent. I can't hire you full time. And these are people that called on healthcare systems, but they didn't have a presence in South Florida that I had built out. So why don't we hire you as a consultant for you to then bring us into your book of business or your created network that you already have built out. And that is when the light bulb went off for me. It's, hey, I have built out a presence. I have built out what most people think is the hardest thing to do, an audience of potential clients. I already have them. What I needed was a product or service to then offer that particular audience to create opportunities, to create a business, right? So I had to think about, what is the big problem that I solve? What can I bring to the table? How can I elevate someone else in what they're doing? Now, I didn't want to get into high ticket, information technology solutions because that's really large. Some of these are 5, 6, 7 figures. I don't want to carry that on my books, but I could help businesses accelerate through my understanding of business, my understanding of healthcare and my understanding of how to gain capital access in acquiring technology for use. So I started thinking about how can we integrate some of these things? How can we use the branding, the branding that I had, meaning the reputation that I had, and begin to utilize that for opportunities for businesses that did not have the same recognition in the marketplace. So I started to understand the problem that I could solve, the limited access that other companies had in the market that I already had created, right? And they were woefully underserved. I didn't understand what that could look like. And there's a lot of fragmented solutions out there. So I started to really think through what these problems were. So when you want to start a business, you have to first understand what is the big problem that you solve. And as I started to get a little bit more training around that, it's not just the big problem, it's the financial problem that you solve. If what you're doing is not solving at least a $10,000 problem, most people will just keep scrolling past you, right? Because the problem that you're solving is not big enough for them to stop, pay attention, and begin to evaluate this type of solution that you could potentially bring to their table to solve this expensive problem that they have, right? You have to do your due diligence in understanding truly what you are doing and how you're solving that equation that equates for at least 10K or more in potential savings for them to engage with you. And that's all in, that's profit, right? What does that look like? So for me, in the information technology space, and understanding how you can get better efficiencies, better operational efficiencies, and to improve your delivery of goods and services, I thought I could do that, right? I can bring you to an opportunity within my audience that's going to solve for them at least a $10,000 problem. Of course, I would be then paid handsomely for doing that type of thing, right? And that became the basis of Five Star BDM. First started out as business development manager, because that was my title, back in 2019. And then I started to change that to brand development master because it expanded my scope, it expanded what I was doing, right? Because I understood branding, marketing, sales, technology within a specific vertical of healthcare in which I was seen as an expert in. And that's when another, I would say, light bulb went off. Personal branding. What does that mean? What is your personal brand separated from the business brand, right? Right? In today's world, you need to have a strong personal brand. And that means a strong personal story. People like doing business with people that they know, they like, and they trust, right? And they don't always trust, just because you throw a logo out there. Well, what is that? There's no pulse, there's no magic to that, right? But if they see a face behind it, they begin to like, ooh, wow, that's Grant McGaugh behind Five Star BDM. That is starting to become something I'm interested in because I know what he does, and I'm beginning to know why he does it. People, and especially if someone's going to invest in your business, they prioritize founders that have a strong personal brand, a strong personal story, a strong why to what they do, right? Leadership is in your personal brand. And then what you're bringing to the table is your product or service, solving for them, again, that $10,000 problem that they have, right? You need to uncover what that is. So you have to establish your credibility and immediately understand what their problem is. And when you demonstrate understanding, remember, you haven't pulled out your product, you haven't pulled out your service, you've just pulled out your brand, and you want to then understand their problem, understand what's making up that $10,000 problem or more, right? What does that look like? And then after you define that, and your client has even greatly more defined that for you, you can then start talking about solutions. You need to understand the market opportunity that's in front of you and what can you bring to the table to truly solve and liquidate that problem, and then accelerate even beyond that. So they see you now as that trusted advisor. That's the category you want to be in. A lot of people, they say, well, when I do business development or sales, no one likes doing sales. And I tell them, so I don't truly understand that, because if you're really doing sales, without sales, nothing transacts. There's no business without sales. So when you tell me that you don't like sales, that you're telling me you don't like business, right? Because that is the business. You have to sell your product, services to someone else to have a transformation take place. How are you going to help them, right? And you lead with those things. And then most people love helping someone else with a problem. That's what selling really is. You're helping someone else out that has a problem, and you have a solution for them. There's nothing wrong with that. What people don't like, this is where sales gets a negative connotation. When someone approaches you with a product or service that you have absolutely no need for, right? Let's just say you've got a fairly good car, you're driving down the road or whatever, and then maybe somebody's calling you up on the phone and saying, hey, you know what? I got a sale on a brand new car. You need to come and look at it. Well, if you already have a car, you have zero interest in that. And then if they keep sending you emails about it, keep calling you on the phone about it, and they keep pestering you about it, you just become frustrated with them. And this is the type of thing that gives sales a bad name, because there's misalignment of values, right? Because you're starting off with you're pushing solutions at someone who has never demonstrated a problem. They don't have a problem. In that case, there is no $10,000 problem. There's no problem with what they're doing right now. The car is perfectly fine. Maybe in the future, but right now, that's not really an issue. We're going to keep going. But if you keep pushing at them, they're going to begin to get turned off by you. You need to have alignment in your sales process and understanding what you're doing. I always start with personal branding. Why is that? Because I'm using social media to put my value out in a visible format, so people can kind of see what it is that I'm doing and who I am helping in this process. A lot of times, as you start to see now in my podcast, is that I will bring on guests that I will ask them, how did you feel about the Brave Blueprint strategy that I just took you through? And they will tell you what it is in real time. If that is a video testimonial that was impromptu, it's not scripted, and they just tell you exactly what it is. It's powerful because people see it, especially if they had a similar problem. Like, hey, he solved that problem for them, whether it was for career development, business development, what it may be, he helped them. Wow, I wonder if he can help me. I wonder, how does he help them? He helps them with a blueprint strategy, which is a step-by-step project. He helps them with understanding how to utilize AI tools. He understands media visibility. He understands financial strategy, right? Because Five Star BDM operates in 3 different levels: personal branding, business development, and then also investment banking at the higher level. Once you reach a certain goal attainment, a lot of companies, they'll start looking at, I need a capital raise because I need to roll out a new service, right? And I'm already a multi-million-dollar business, but I need to get to that next level. And in order to get that, I need a capital infusement, right? We help you do that, capital raise, right? When it comes to, you know what, I need to bring in another strategic partner to help me to either do a majority, when I'm selling parts of the company as the majority, or I'm going to take a minority stake and I want someone else to help me in that respect. That's M&A work. That's mergers and acquisition. When you get to a certain level, you're operating in a 7-figure world, 8-figure world. These are the things you start thinking about, and you start thinking about your exit strategy. Is it time to sell the business, right? And how do I get there? You can't just usually just, you know what, I'm just going to sell the business and that's it. It's a process that you go through. You start to make that determination. This is something I do want to do. And you know it's going to be usually a 1 to 2 to 3 year journey until you finally get to the point of selling the business. These are things you start thinking through. So when you start thinking about 5 Star BDM, and when you start thinking about consultancy and a premium advisory service that I offer, I want you to start thinking about frameworks. He actually has a Brave Blueprint framework that he has, and that he can either, I'm starting to do this now in Miami, and also I'll be doing this in Korea, where I can license that particular framework out that you can utilize it, right? So you can be a brand ambassador for the Brave Blueprint strategy. We start looking at reoccurring subscription models, right? So all the different things that I'm doing that you can then take advantage of, that's going to give you more knowledge, more experience, and more opportunity to expand your market. You start looking at, you know what? I want to do something similar to what Grant's doing, what he did with his podcast and his TV series, and how he's creating revenue that way. So it's media monetization. What does that look like? And all that wraps into all that I do. It's very important to have an understanding of what you do and the market you penetrate. And in my particular case, I operate in about a $200 billion global market. It's pretty big, $200 billion, right? And has a growth rate. What is the growth rate? They call the CAGR, or the CAGR of that. It's about 10%. So you got $200 billion market, you have a $20 billion growth rate, right? And those three big sectors that I talk about. A lot of that is small business owners like yourselves. It could be in healthcare. It could also be a minority owner. And I like working with people that need to have a better understanding of what they can do and how they do it, right? Because I've already been down that road. So when you start looking at healthcare, you start looking at technology, you start looking at finance, all these things, I have a pretty good domain expertise in, and that I can bring in a group of experts if needed in what that is. So a lot of my clientele that I work with on a daily basis, they can deliver AI solutions. They build this every single day, right? That's what I work with Agile InfoWiz. They are a 200-person business, have been in international markets for the last 19 years. They have offices here in Miami, Florida, as well as Dallas, Texas, and then also in India. I can do anything from artificial intelligence to machine learning to agentic AI solutions, custom-made software engineering. I can do all of those things, right? When it comes to the finance world, I work with Cornhusker Capital, right? I am the subject matter expert in technology for Cornhusker Capital when you start looking at the lower middle market, and when you start looking at M&A activity, as I described a little earlier. When you need a capital raise or you start looking at an exit strategy, I have that technical lens that I bring to the table. People, again, like working with people that understand their business. That is what I do. Then I have massive relationships in healthcare, whether it's the National Association of Health Service Executives, whether it's HIMSS, which is the Health Informatics System Society. I also work at groups like ICABE, ICABE, for Black Enterprise, and of course with the Black Business Network, because I am here to help people to execute their strategies and their tactics to grow exponentially throughout the world. That's what I would love to see happen. And I do that by bringing relationships that you don't have to the table, right? And that's where we have major competitive advantage. There's a lot of different companies that may offer personal brand or personal brand coaching. They may have AI, or someone else might have AI branding tools. Another one may have, a boutique investment firm. Nobody has all those three together. That is my uniqueness in what I bring to the table. This is very, very important. You need to understand how you're unique, how you are different, what are you bringing to the table, and does that bring traction to a business, right? And start looking at, and I talk to a lot of them. A lot of times it's like, what's your biggest problem? Sales, marketing. I'm just not visible in the market that I'm looking to influence. Then you say, well, how are you doing it today? And you kind of go through those scenarios. And then that's how we say, this is how I can help you, right? That's from a personal branding perspective, and also a business development. Sometimes the business is just not right sized, or it's just not optimum in its operations and what it's trying to accomplish. right? So we need to take a look at that, and how do we get you to a point where you have actual assets, intellectual property, domain expertise, things that an investor community is going to be interested in. So you get out of the commoditized zone and you become a valuable resource for someone else that takes you to the next level of investment banking. What do they look at? These are the things that they're going to be looking at, right? If you get to a point where you want to sell your business, or you need money to operate your business at a higher level, or you're looking to bring in a strategic partner, they're going to be looking at all these different things, what makes up the revenue model that you truly have, and is it sustainable? Is it something that is has monthly recurring revenue, if possible, right? You start looking at those things, and if you don't have it today, you start to develop those things, right? I start to help you, like, well, let's see how we can develop a model that's going to be attractive to a buyer. What does that look like in the future? You don't do it immediately right now, but you start building up to these points, right? So you start building up your brand, you start building up your business, then you start building on your investment portfolio that makes you more attractive to these particular markets, and that is going to make you sustainable, right? It's very, very important to be able to do that. We want to start looking at what you have for success metrics. How does that story get told? What are your case studies in the framework that you're doing? What are the challenges that you've had? Do you have a media strategy? What does it look like? Right? All right. What is the solutions embedded in that media strategy? What are the results that they got back? And then do you have just a slew of client feedback? Is anybody will tell you that my solution is the best. That is not, that's such a worn out slogan that everybody expects you to be it. No one's going to sit there like, you know what, I'm kind of at the bottom. No, I kind of suck, but I can help you. Like, nobody's going to say that. Everybody says they're the best, but how do you prove that? What's your proven factors that you're the best? Do you have any kind of intellectual property or governance strategy, or something that says how you are truly better than someone else? Is it trademarked, right? Is it copyrighted, right? Is it something that's tangible that can be traded in the world of commerce? You start thinking about these things, right? A lot of people have AI tools. Maybe it's your use of your AI tool that's unique in how you do things. All these things are very important as you start to understand, your assets and what true assets truly look like. So as you're listening to me, you're starting to understand what I call my BRAVE framework. You have to have a brand identity. You've got to do your research, right? You have to understand assets. What are your assets? And then you have to understand, is it visible? Is it visible to someone else, or is it visible to the target audience that you're looking to influence? It's very, very important. And then how are you executing on that strategy? It's one thing to say these things, but is it demonstratable? You know, investors don't buy pitch decks. I had this conversation with another gentleman about a month ago. It's like everybody wants to come out with this slick, pitch deck that kind of puts out the challenges and solutions of what you're putting together. That is not why somebody's going to buy your business. A person's going to invest in your business, or someone's going to do business with you. It's nice that you articulated what you're doing, but that's not the reason why. They need to understand your competitive advantage. They need to understand the financial overview. They need to understand the use of funds, and it has to make absolute sense. And they need to understand that this is a solid investment opportunity with very low risk and has a maximum return that is quantifiable. Anybody can say to you, like, I got a $10 million company, I'm going to grow it to $10 million. Like, well, that's great. How are you going to get there? What is the strategic blueprint that you can articulate to me with a pretty certain, ideal certainty that you're going to get there, that I can believe in? Remember, I got to believe in that. Your investor pool, whoever is investing in you, it's got to believe in that. If somebody's going to do business with you, someone's going to buy your product and service, they have to believe in it. And you have to demonstrate that belief, right? You can't willy-nilly about it. It's like, show me the truth. Is it with the people from Missouri? Show me. That's the show me straight. You got to show people what that looks like, right? You got to understand your finances and your projections at a glance that will get you to that level of belief in the people that you're looking for, right? So if you're looking to raise capital, you've got to break those things down into categories: product development, your go-to-market strategy, your brand expansion, your team hiring, because your team, no one can overstate the power of a team, because you're bringing human capital to the table. They need to understand that the human capital is going to stay there. They invest this money into you, right? How are you going to maintain that advantage that you have? So you have to understand your human capital, understand your working capital, what the reserves that you have in mind, all these things. Like, wow, I didn't know Five Star BDM got involved in all of this. I thought he was just this brand guy, it's his personal brand. So that's just the beginning, because you got to begin. But the ultimate ending is to get into this investment banking model that your company has value, that is worth something to someone else, that's demonstratable, that's quantifiable, that can be acquired, or you start thinking about acquiring a business, right? You're the one to say, you know what? I need to open up offices in other cities and franchise my model out, right? So you got to start thinking through these things, start looking at that, because it's a lot easier to buy a business that's already operated at a certain revenue level that you could potentially acquire, right, and grow, than trying to start it from scratch, because it takes time to do these things. And you start to measure time. What is the measurement of time and money in real life? What does that look like? So you start looking at that. Is it easier for me to make a certain amount of investment and buy that company, or did I take that same cash and try to develop that company over time? Say, wow. And if your goal is to say it was, I need a $5 million business operating in 3 years, you start thinking, what's the quickest way for me to get there, right? So you start thinking about, do they have licenses? Is there a monthly recurring revenue model there? Have they already been acquired before? Do they understand? I mean, this is if you're going to buy this company. At the same time, somebody's looking at you the exact same way. So you start to understand your milestones and your roadmap over time and what that's going to look like. And that's going to help you to maintain a consistency in what you're doing. You have a strategy and a roadmap and an understanding of where you're going, and you're not willy-nilly. You're not just, here we are now going into June. This will be the last month of June, right? So Q1 and Q2 will be in the books. Q3 and Q4 will be in there. You should know what you're going to be looking like. And then that's just the next 6 months. What are you going to look like not only 6 months, but also in 1 year, within 3 years, within 5 years. And this is what senior leaders do. And a lot of times, salespeople don't understand what senior leaders are looking at. These guys typically aren't operating in the present. They're operating in the future. They're creating the future that we're going to experience. Like right now, here it is, 2025, right, in late May, and this particular present was someone else's future, probably 4 or 5 months ago or 6 months ago, right? And that's why you want to get into forecasting. How can you accurately forecast your business to be at a certain revenue point, right? And that is very predictable. Let's say you want your business to operate like this. Let's say you're starting out in Omaha, Nebraska, right? And it's going to be 1,500 miles to Miami, Florida. Now you understand the resources that you're going to need to get there. If you're driving by car, it's going to cost X amount. It's going to take X amount of time to get there. And with a great deal of certainty, if I have the resources, to invest in my vehicle, to make sure my car is at an operational level that it can get there, that it has enough resources to get there, it has the direction to get there, and then with a great deal of certainty, I will get there. There's always going to be some tailwinds, and then we call headwinds, things you're going to come across. that you didn't know. Like, oh, wow, I had a flat tire, or this or that happened. And then I've got to have resources. Those are your reserves to then reinvest in your vehicle to get it back on track, get it down to Miami, Florida in the time that you're looking at. I needed to get there at, let's say if I started out today and I was driving, I'm going to probably be there, in 2 to 3 days. You want your business like that. So, if you're operating a certain revenue point today and you wanted to operate at a different revenue and profit in the future, you need to understand how you're going to get there and the investments you need to make that happen. All of this is very important. I wanted to give you that overview of what 5 Star BDM does from a personal brand perspective, a business development perspective, and an investment banking perspective, because they all work together to create a multi-million-dollar business that each one, whether in the lower middle market or not, can benefit from. So, you know what? I like how he does personal branding. I want to take advantage of that. And I said, great. And can we get that to a career development model? Because there's a purpose to the personal brand, right? For my lens, what is that purpose? The purpose is usually career development. I want to scale higher, or it's business development. I want to scale higher, right? And then business development really is, how do we scale the business, and where are our roadblocks? What do we need to invest in order to get to our next level, which would be, again, investment banking. Why is that important? I need a capital raise to get to where I want to go, right? I need a strategic partnership to come in to get me to where I want to go. Or, it's time to sell the business, so I need to put myself in a position to make the business the most attractive, to get the most valuation for the business, so that it can be acquired at the higher level, and I achieve my goal. All this is important for you to understand. So I wanted to bring all that to the table today so we can begin to move forward as a community in understanding what 5 Star BDM does. And if any of this resonates with you, if you're looking to brand yourself, you're looking to develop your business at a higher level, you're looking to scale, you're looking to acquire assets for your business, these are the things I want you to talk to me about. Let's get you on track to reach your desired state.
Man, who's your favorite podcaster? Man, Grant, man. I love Grant's podcast. Well, who's Grant? I'm going to send you the link. I love
the interview. I've done a lot of these, and this is a great one. It's always great to talk to people who know what they're doing, and it's clear you're a great host, and you've done this many times before.
I feel great that we're having this conversation here. Met a new person in business who I previously didn't know.
It was an amazing podcast. Grant is an amazing interviewer. I learned a lot.
I really enjoyed this. Great questions, great talk track. Super appreciate you having me on. It's been a very fun episode to talk about a lot of things that I don't always get to dive into. So this has been a fantastic conversation.
I wouldn't be where I am here today, of course, not on this stage. However, not in my current business projection and my current business model without working with you.
Follow the Brand TV broadcast host, Grant McGaugh, as he visits with top executives and entrepreneurs to find out their secrets of success with their personal brand. Follow the Brand TV broadcast host as he focuses on brand development to build better relationships, bring value to your business, relationships, and career. You will enjoy listening to each episode that is tailored to speak to you directly. If you're looking for this type of clarity in terms of building your brand, you have tuned into the right station. Each episode will help you to shape a conversation in the 5 Star BDM network of 20,000 professionals and become a springboard for your corporate engagement and business opportunities. Each guest will frame their story in the areas of personal branding, business development, career development, financial empowerment, and technology innovation. Grant McGaugh explains why he is the CEO and owner of his own professional career. Grant is an accomplished business leader and entrepreneur who wants to give back to individuals to grow their personal brand strategy. Tune in as he weaves his story about new possibilities, while to you exceed expectations. If you love storytelling, this show will make for fun.
Black Business Expo's mission is to raise funds for high school seniors going to college or K through 12 entrepreneurs. This expo is a fundraiser for students. Please, you may go to www.blackbusinessexpousa.com to donate to the scholarship fund or use the Cash App at $BDXUSA. Our goal is to give laptops and up to $5,000 to 10 students. Students can register online at www.blackbusinessexpousa.com. Every dollar counts. Please donate to the Black Business Expo USA Scholarship Fund.
In 1984, Michael Jordan redefined basketball shoes. Today, Grant McGaugh is revolutionizing personal branding. Imagine a world where everyone fights to be seen. Grant McGaugh ensures you're remembered. Personal branding isn't about being seen, it's about being remembered. Through his company, 5 Star BDM, professionals aren't just building brands, they're creating legacies. Grant's approach transforms how you're valued, not just how you're seen. Consider a healthcare executive who went from unknown to keynote speaker in just 6 months. Or a financial firm that doubled client acquisition through strategic positioning. A tech company saw a 75% boost in brand recognition within a year. These are the results of Grant's innovative strategies. Introducing the Brave Brand Blueprint: brand identity, relationships, assets, visibility, execution. This blueprint is the cornerstone of transforming professionals' images. It's not just about change, it's about creating a lasting impact and defining your future. Grant's work is recognized by industry leaders and trusted by professionals worldwide. His results speak for themselves, with accolades from prestigious ceremonies like HIMSS. This isn't just about building a brand. It's about leading your industry and becoming unforgettable. Clients rave about their transformations. Specific testimonials highlight the profound impact of Grant's strategies, showcasing real-world success and satisfaction. These stories are a testament to the power of personal branding. The personal branding revolution isn't coming, it's here. With 5 Star BDM, transform your brand and your future. Visit www.5starbdm.com for more information. Transform your brand. Transform your future.
The 5 Star BDM LinkedIn Social Selling course can help you stand out and attract the right connections and opportunities. We will help you professionally create your profile, provide personalized recommendations for improvement, and help you create and share engaging content to help you showcase your skills and expertise. Our 5-step course makes connecting with industry experts, finding job opportunities, and building meaningful relationships easy. Social selling can be an effective way for you to generate leads and close deals, but it does have its challenges. Our course will help you solve the problems associated with digital networking. If you need help personalizing your outreach and messaging, which can lead to low response rates and a lack of engagement. If you need help targeting the right prospects, this course is for you. With so much noise on social media, it can be challenging to cut through the clutter and get your message in front of the right people. Our course will personalize your messaging using our targeting tools and research. You can identify and reach the right prospects. We will also show how to deliver high quality, valuable content that attracts and engages prospects and clients. The 5 Star BDM LinkedIn Social Selling course will address these challenges by implementing best practices. As a result, you can improve your social selling efforts and generate better results. Are you looking to improve your LinkedIn profile and reach a wider audience? Social selling is an effective way for you to generate leads and close deals, but it does have its challenges. Some common problems we saw with social selling include lack of visibility, If your profile is not optimized or you're not actively participating in groups or sharing content, it can be difficult to get noticed on LinkedIn. Number 2, lack of personalization. Some businesses struggle with personalizing their outreach and messaging, which can lead to low response rates and a lack of engagement. Also, difficulty targeting the right prospects. It can be difficult to identify and target the right prospects on social media, especially if you don't have access to robust targeting tools. And number 4, outdated content. If your LinkedIn profile or content is not up to date, it can give the impression that you're not actively engaged on the platform or that your skills and experience are not current. And lastly, poor quality content and not leveraging video and picture to convey ideas. To solve these problems, the 5-star BDM LinkedIn Optimization Social Selling Video course will help you focus on personalizing your outreach and messaging to better connect with prospects. In module number 1, the foundation, we will help you create high quality, valuable profile that will attract and engage. In module 2, the story, optimizing your LinkedIn profile to make sure it is complete, accurate, and visually appealing. In module number 3, the experience, using your targeting tools and research to identify and reach out to the right prospects. In module number 4, engagement, establishing a consistent follow-up process to nurture leads and build relationships over time. And lastly, in number 5, execution. Understand the metrics to help you measure your brand effectiveness. By addressing these challenges and implementing best practices, you will improve your social selling with the 5-star BDM LinkedIn Optimization Social Selling course. Listen to what others have said about 5-star BDM.
Grant, I'll tell you why I'm here, right? I'm here because I love your brand. When we started chatting on LinkedIn, we connected. I checked you out and I go, man, this guy knows what he's talking about.
You were definitely instrumental in helping to shape that knowledge of who I am. Because at first I thought, well, I am an actress. I am a writer. I am a producer. I am a speaker. And so I said, well, I must be a creative communicator. I know that there is a narrative thread here, but you nailed it when you said you are a storyteller. So you brought it all together in this cohesive title.
Sign up today to improve your social selling opportunities. I was able to grow my network to over 20,000 professionals in the field of healthcare and technology with a consistent brand presence that excites and informs my community. Become the CEO of your personal brand. You must believe in yourself. Ready to build a 5-star brand that stands out and captivates? Discover the art of crafting a strong and memorable brand identity. From choosing the right colors to making your brand unforgettable on social media, we guide you every step of the way. Learn how to design a brand that resonates deeply with your audience, ensuring they not only remember but love your brand. Whether it's enhancing visual appeal or mastering social platforms, we have got you covered. Dive into the world of impactful branding with us and see the difference. Follow the brand for more insights and expert tips. Don't just be seen, be remembered. Join us now.
So there's different laws in the USVI that a lot of people don't realize. It's called the third border. And if you are incorporated there, you only pay 10% in federal taxes. So there's a huge incentive to clear different types of deal structures in the USVI that makes everybody a win-win happy camper when it comes to deal flow.
Artificial intelligence is everywhere, but the real threat to your business isn't automation. It's being invisible to your audience, your clients, your market. You could be brilliant at what you do, but if no one sees you, you don't exist. At 5 Star BDM, we help leaders escape the noise and step into the spotlight, strategically. Discover how AI can elevate your visibility, not replace your value. Start showing up where it matters.
And now I want to get a little bit more, on the lens of the BRAVE framework. You went through my program. You had your brand assessment. You had a skills gap analysis. You had the BRAVE blueprint strategy. And now we're here at the level we can have a conversation with our audience about that experience. From your lens, how did you feel that program helped you?
It helped me in a lot of ways, Grant. From finding my why, finding my brand. I have my tagline, that skill set comparison you're providing me, that blueprint, show me tactics and where I have opportunities to take me to the next level.
I am the AI avatar for Grant McGaugh, founder of 5 Star BDM. Welcome to your Brave Blueprint Insight of the Day. Today's focus is boldness. Boldness is not about being loud. It's about having the clarity to lead and the courage to stand firm in your vision. In the world of branding, it means taking the road less traveled and owning it with conviction. Boldness is the decision to stand for something, even when it's uncomfortable. It's the message that may not appeal to everyone, but speaks directly and powerfully to the audience that matters most. If you've been asking, how do I build more visibility? Understand this, visibility follows boldness, not the other way around. You can't whisper and expect to be heard in a world that rewards conviction. You don't need to be louder. You need to be braver. So here's your challenge. What bold move are you avoiding that could define your brand tomorrow? Boldness isn't the absence of fear. It's the decision to lead anyway. This is the AI avatar for Grant McGaugh, delivering your brave insight. Your thunder is waiting. Let's make it resonate. Follow the brand.
Here's my question for you. Are you in the audience of your life, or are you on the center stage of your life? You can become the kind of person who does highly influential work. Your work can solve pressing problems, improve people's lives, and get noticed by important people. You could have the world's most important message or greatest story, but no one will ever see it if you don't promote and package it intelligently.
This is the AI avatar for Grant McGaugh, founder of 5 Star BDM. Welcome to your Brave Blueprint Insight of the Day. Today's focus is resilience. Resilience isn't just about bouncing back. It's about building forward with clarity and purpose. In business and personal branding, it's the quiet force that shows up when motivation fades, plans shift, or results stall. Let's be honest. Every leader hits resistance, but the resilient ones, they don't retreat. They reflect, recalibrate, and re-engage with more insight, not less. You've heard it before. Success favors the persistent, but in branding, it favors the consistent. So ask yourself today, where have I paused when I should have pushed forward? Resilience is not resistance. It's the decision to grow anyway. And in a noisy world, Your ability to show up again and again is what builds trust, legacy, and impact. I'm Grant McGaugh. This is your brave insight. Your thunder is waiting. Let's make it resonate. Follow the brand.
About a month ago, you've gone through my entire process now, the BRAVE framework. From your lens, your kind of before and after, what was that experience like for you?
It was very, like I said, enlightening, very eye-opening. I learned some my positive sides and some opportunities where I could feel that I can grow and be better. I feel like your program not only gave me the opportunities, but gave me the specifics to the opportunities and a list of what I need to do to get there. So that was very, very helpful for me. There were some things that I wouldn't have known had I not gone through your program. And I feel like it's just going to grow me. It already has. And it's just going to help elevate me to the next level of where I'm supposed to be.
This is the AI avatar for Grant McGaugh, founder of 5 Star BDM. Welcome to your Brave Blueprint Insight of the Day. Today's focus is authenticity. In a world of scripts, filters, and algorithms, what stands out is what's real. Authenticity is not about oversharing. It's about alignment. Are your values, your voice, and your vision walking in sync, or just performing? Here's the truth. People don't connect with perfection. They connect with presence. They're not looking for polish. They're looking for someone who sounds like truth in a room full of noise. Authenticity isn't soft. It's the moment you walk into a room, speak the truth no one else will, and feel the entire space lean in. It's the clarity that earns trust and the honesty that keeps it. Your story is not a liability. It's your leverage. Because the more your message reflects who you truly are, the more powerful your brand becomes. So ask yourself today, what part of my voice am I still muting to be accepted? Authenticity isn't about standing out. It's about standing firm in your truth. I'm Grant McGaugh. This is your brave insight. Your thunder is waiting. Let's make it resonate. Follow the brand.
5 Star BDM, Brand Development Masters, is a professional consulting and advisory group keenly focused on business development services for the small to mid-sized business and entrepreneurs. Although every business is unique, they often share business development challenges that can be addressed through smart branding. Services include process improvement and operations, digital strategy and transformation, business intelligence, digital marketing, and personal branding. Our business and personal branding company has helped a number of professionals and organizations to optimize and grow. This results in more business, more opportunities, better reach, positive outcomes. Visit www.5starbdm.com today to learn more.
Tune in for our next show or click on our website at www.5starbdm/followthebrandtv. Thank you.